Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today we've got Week 3 review, Week 4 preview of the NFL Fantasy Podcast. I was joined today with my co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, and we had special guests on the show, Matthew Tooties Herlihy and Lianne Davies, the only female in the Fantasy League, as seems to be her new name. We discussed the winners and the losers from Week 3, what we thought about the games, what we thought about the developments over the week, and then we discussed what was coming up for Week 4. So tune in and check out Week 3. See, did you win in your Fantasy League? Some of us didn't. Anyway, check out Week 3 review and Week 4 preview of the NFL Cookiecast NFL Podcast. What's flashing?
That is now flashing.
That's recording. That's recording this time. Right, it's podcast time. Let's do this. Give it one of them. All that, you know. Absolutely no idea what can be seen. I think I'm not on camera, which is perfect for me. This should be picking these guys up. This should be picking these guys up. Where's Ian? I'm actually sweating out my eyes.
Leon, I thought I turned it down.
Cuts.
It's a great start. This is in keeping with the
window open, heating on. Perfect.
That does sound perfectly normal.
I didn't say anything, but when I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, heating was on.
Yes. When I got up, I went to the toilet. I was like, "Why is the heating on in the middle of the night?" And then when I got my bike out this morning, I realised that it was all. It said it was 2 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. So it was, anyway, not important.
So
NFL Week 3. My esteemed opponent, Matthew, 2 teams, Herlihy.
2 teams.
It's taken on a whole world of its own.
One winning team.
My co-host, Paul Bill Williams, and his opponent, the boy Davies, the only female member of our NFL fantasy team.
Indeed.
In the 2018 season.
Reigning.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We are sweating in the man cave. I'm sweating in the man cave. Don't know about you kids.
I'm not too bad.
I'm good.
Just me then. Cool. It's we're now moving into autumn. That's one of my hairs. So let's get. I've got notes. You brought notes. I've got notes.
I've got notes.
I can get the league. I can get the league standings up. I can tell you exactly where I am, which is not great.
I'm pretty low on data on my phone, so I can't do that.
Well,
I'm going to struggle to do like activity during work if I run out because they don't like redo me data till second at month.
oh dear.
So obviously at this point in time, just congratulations on another victory. I believe it is. It's certainly another victory.
Well played.
Even manages
well played. The other thing is though, at this point, I don't really fancy shaking people's hands 13 times in a losing manner. So
I'll get used to it.
I've got to get used to it though.
You could just shake everyone's hand now,
Yeah, I could
then not have to.
Then just cry at the appalling.
Cry me a Phil Rivers.
The appalling shitstorm that is my team.
Shall we do the winners and losers for
Fantasy
the week?
breakdown.
Starting winners and losers.
Can do.
Hide,
Scores on the doors.
I'll hide my.
So going off my, I'm going to leave the second match in the standings to last because I think that deserves special praise. So of course, in my standings, it comes up first that Hyde and Zeke was going up against Come On Saquon, and sadly it was
annihilated.
It was a full-on annihilation. Thank you, Liam.
Yeah, there are
just so we're clear, that it wasn't a small beating; it was a savaging.
There
as
are
I believe they've said in the league a few times.
There are a couple of questions around some changes. If you'd made some changes, whether you'd have still won.
I would have still won.
Yeah.
Which might they be?
I had Alex Smith in.
You had Matt Ryan on the bench. You had Matt Ryan in the team who scored 39 points.
Under some advice,
I asked you what you would do.
what I would do in that scenario.
So I changed my mind.
Never
But
Would you have played Alex Smith?
Alex Smith was in the lineup, wasn't he?
yeah.
That.
But
Wow.
that's not
If you smell that, it smells like high pollution.
But I looked at the
In
numbers,
passing.
and even if I'd left Alex
Oh,
Smith,
God, yeah.
I'd have still won.
Yeah, I know.
And even if
Oh,
you
don't worry. Don't worry. I'm under no illusions that if there would have been a few other things that had gone on.
Even if
the
you'd
worst
have
thing for me,
even if you hadn't have had Alex Smith or the other one, would you still have won?
if you'd have played no quarterback,
I'd have still won.
you'd have still.
Brilliant.
Is that true? Hang on.
I'm not sure if that is.
Hang on.
No, 39.
You beat me by 38 points. So if you'd not played Matt Ryan, I'd have won by 1 point.
Wow.
That's outrageous. Oh,
I've actually got a
good
lineup
God.
scenario for this week where I might even
Not play a
not
quarterback.
play a player because I've got my first player on a bye and my backup
Already?
is
At week 4?
fucking
Yeah.
atrocious.
Me too.
Adrian, so glad I picked him up. Peterson, he's on a bye this week.
I didn't even realise they did the buy starting at week 4. I thought that was too early.
I thought it was too early. I was surprised when you said earlier.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Right, go on then. Here's with another one.
Hang on, I've lost them. I've got them back. Right, so we'll pass on the second game that I think we need to come back to at some point because it was amazing. So then the second game is the aforementioned Kaepernick's Nike. So that name's changed.
I thought we were more apt, seeing
Obviously.
as the
Well,
first night now.
he's not
so-
moving anywhere, is he? He's too busy,
Yeah.
making life-changing decisions at, massive multi-global corporates.
Yeah.
So Kaepernick's Nike going up against the Cookie. Not quite as much of a savage
We don't
as
need to
the first game.
I was winning going into the last one, but I was winning with all my players have played. And
Yeah.
I essentially needed Roethlisberger to throw an interception while simultaneously getting injured and being taken off. And that did not happen.
Sadly, that did not happen.
It didn't happen.
As Big Ben posts fantasy numbers of 24. Yes, the aforementioned Big Ben posts big numbers: 355 yards, 353
I was
yards.
sweating a little bit because I think in his first game he only scored 8 points, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not very good.
good.
So the thing is that I've been told by other people that Ben is not good away from home,
Right.
and that you should only play him when he's playing at home because he can be a bit hit and miss. So yeah, unfortunately for our esteemed host, posting a second L of the season, whereas certain people are keeping up their 100% record at the top of the league.
It will last.
The next game is the league leader, I believe, in blunt force trauma, Mr. Colin Wright. Yes, it is. It does say Wright right there. Going up against, surprisingly, bottom of the league contender, Tim Lacey's Squirrel Killers.
What is going on there?
Don't know. He's obviously taking his eyes off the prize, and he's drafted terribly. I believe it's because he's got a certain quarterback by the name of Thomas Brady.
He did.
Who is, as I quote, shitting the bed at the moment.
he
So,
did. He did spit some feathers to me yesterday morning. That Mr. Brady is not performing.
not happy at all.
Underperforming.
So that's another win for Mr. Wright, and another loss for Mr. Lacey.
He picked him up though so late in the draft, though, didn't he, Brady?
Yeah, because he was, for some reason, the rankings were wrong, and he was
Right,
placed
really
like
far down,
500 and something
Yeah.
in the rankings, because ESPN had got their rankings a bit all over the place. So yeah, he was right down to the bottom. The next game, we have probably the turnaround of all turnarounds in fantasy sort of happenings.
Thomas Quinn.
This is the Thomas Quinn.
The Thomas Quinn.
The Thomas
Now,
Quinn of Quinn Corp.
there has been a conversation about Sir Thomas Quinn picking up a particular player.
I believe you're referring to Will Disley the tight end from Seattle, who scored him 0 points.
I don't think that's the player.
I think it rhymes with Disley.
It does rhyme with Disley.
Oh, you're probably referring to Calvin Ridley, who exploded
record-breaking
with a 3 touchdown outing and 146 yards.
Pretty sure.
Only on 7 receptions, by the way. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
not bad. Tom,
fifth on my list of things to talk about.
Interesting.
It was on my list as well.
Posting big numbers and eventually helping Tom to an 111-84 win over Mr. Robert Rafton.
Yeah, first words
at Rafton.
Yeah, first words out of his mouth Monday morning were "fucking hell." Your team's like,
yeah. Second to last, as we're going to go back to the big game of the week, was Crimea Phil Rivers.
I know which game it's.
Senior Walls going up against what at this point, unfortunately for him, seems to be the whipping boy of the league in Benji Keep. It's another loss for Senior Keep, whereas it's a first win of the season for Mr. Walls, posting a W and getting himself off the bottom.
Well done, Mr.
With
Walls.
a win. Now, game of the week goes to our 2 other out-of-towners as well as Mr. Keep. So it was a best man against groom matchup. Mr. Moore going up against James Forrester Gray. Grudge match, if you will. Should have been labelled the Dross-Off.
Oh, was this the one that came down to the final player?
Oh my God! So going into the final game of the week, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Matt had, I'm trying to find it, Antonio Brown left to play. James had James Conner left to play. So it was a battle of the running back versus the wide receiver. Who's going to get the most points? Who's going to get the most reps? There was, I believe, 2 points in it going into the final game. There was still 2 points in it at the final score. Matthew Moore pulls out the W with an absolutely massive overall points of 69. So they almost combined for a similar total to Tom's score. So the winner of the Dross-Off, Matt Moore. So Matt Moore improves to 3-0, and sadly the first loss of the season is posted on Mr. Forrester Gray. He will not be happy, as I'm assuming he said last week on his debut on the podcast.
There were some accusations flying around earlier in the week about somebody sniping some players off the waiver. And if James lost to Matthew, he would not be particularly happy after said sniping.
I'm amazed that at this point someone in our league's not done the thing that Ruxin did and add drop every single defence. Yep. So that they can't be added before
I'm sure I saw on the waiver today that the Packers defence is floating around on the waiver.
There's probably a reason for that. They're just not terribly good, and they keep giving away fouls because Clay Matthews isn't allowed to touch any quarterbacks in the league.
Clay Matthews
is that on the list?
Moncrief the third.
Interesting. So yeah, there's your weekly fantasy.
So what does that do to the rankings, if you will, Mr. Williams, and then we'll talk about our week 2 review that everybody can get us.
So we did discuss the people that have improved to 3-0, and sadly the teams that have dropped to 3-0 or on 3. So top of the pile. Ooh, there's a change. There's a change at the top of the leaderboard.
Really?
It is no longer Colin Wright with outright first. Well, I mean, it's a tie for first. 3-way tie. So the teams that are at 3-0 is Kaepernick's Nike.
And later in the show, we'll be getting to really be getting into how the fuck you managed to keep doing it.
Blunt Force Trauma with Colin Wright. And Feeling Good, which is another new name change for Matthew Moore, as he was Hopkin Good.
Hopkin Mad.
Hopkin Mad, that was it. Up until last week. So they are the top three, with Matthew Herlihy currently on top. As I said, at this point, it's relatively meaningless. You know, we've still got 10 games to go until we get into playoffs.
Yeah, but it's starting to smell very familiar.
Yeah, well, at least you've got a win.
I'm pretty sure, didn't last season I won the first 10 games of my season, and then I came last.
You might have ended last season with a record of 6-7, having won the first 6 weeks of the season, which was
dropped.
Amazing.
And the year before, I won the first 5 games of the season. I think I came second to last. The first few weeks mean nothing.
I mean, we can only hope.
Not a good sign.
We can only hope that happens to someone in the league.
In this room.
Yes, then there is a clutch of 3 teams on a 2-1 record. The aforementioned Come On Saquon is one of those teams. You are sitting at 2-1.
Oh, okay.
So you must have beaten somebody else.
You beat me.
You beat him. You beat him in week 2, but you weren't able to join.
No.
As you were
incommunicado. Couldn't even phone in. Couldn't even
dial it in.
Phone a friend now.
So the clutch of teams is including Come On Saquon. In the nosebleed section, in uncharted territory, is Quinn Corp.
He won't know what to do with himself.
He's got a positive record, and he will literally be absolutely dancing for joy.
Is it like that?
Taste that.
I can almost taste
that sweet scent. Joined on 2-1 is Foosball is the Devil, the aforementioned Mr. Forrester Gray, having tasted the first loss of the season. It tastes oh so bitter.
I feel like we should have him on the phone.
Probably should. Sadly, we cannot do that at this point, as he's not been briefed. Then we move to the teams that are 1 and 2. My name doesn't seem to be in here, so we'll just move on from that. So we have the 3 teams at 1 and 2 is Crimea Phil Rivers.
That's not me.
That's not you. The Yorkshire Knights.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's not me either.
The celebrating Rob Rafton, as obviously I'm assuming he's still probably hungover from his Sunday exploitations of the York City Knights.
The York City Knights,
finishing
also
top of their division and getting promotion to is it the
Championship, I think. Yeah.
Uncharted territory, possibly. I think they've been there before.
They've been there before.
And then the last of the teams on 1 and 2
that has to be me.
Is the Cookie.
Yay!
And then sadly, we don't have enough time to go through the teams that are at the bottom of the league, so we'll just have to move on.
I mean, I can take the time I want.
How many teams are there?
There are 3, so there's basically 3. Okay. There's 3 in each section. So there's 3 teams that are 3-0, 3 teams at 2 and 1, 3 teams at 1 and 2, and 3 teams at 3. And those are the Squirrel Killers, the aforementioned Tim Lacey. He'll be pulling his hair out. He'll be thinking, how is this possible? I've got Brady.
I mean, he's won it, hasn't he?
Yeah, we don't need to go into the teams that have won it. The aforementioned Hyde and Zeke is almost propping up the league. Sadly, that honour, I suppose, is it honour, goes to the Oxford Heathens and Benji Keep.
Big shout out.
Although, I mean,
it's his first year in the league.
He's new to the league.
He's new to the league.
His first 2 round picks were
not the best. I mean, he's not scored the least amount of points.
No.
That honour goes to the Cookie. So you've still got to win, because you beat me by 2 points or something like that in the first week. He does, however, have the second lowest amount of points at 224, and myself on 229.
So apparently Siri wanted to get in on your conversation and decided that the 3123 Dreams Are the Zeke is almost popular league sadly album.
What?
Yep, I mean that makes absolute sense. Get Siri to Google that.
Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, highest point scorer. Kaepernick's mate. With a whopping 337 points through week 3, through 3 weeks. So yeah, just the average of 111 or something. 337. To be fair, he has got Alvin Kamara on his team.
Oh yeah, Jesus!
I had that week where him and Mixon scored about 50 between them.
He's got Alvin Kamara. He's got Travis Kelce. He's going to be scoring points every week.
Nice.
He's got the Bears defence. Khalil Mack looking like an absolute baller. Big Ben, he's got big point scorers. Yeah, you've got to give it to the lad. He's
struggling now.
He's drafted
in
well.
Other positions.
He's drafted
Struggling. I'm struggling with my team.
Not
Sitting
struggling
pretty
to
at
win,
the top.
but
Exactly, yeah.
can't
I'm really
fill the
struggling
team.
to win
with
every
running
week.
backs and wide receivers.
He's only, to be fair, you've only outscored Cole's team by 7 points.
Yeah.
But those 7 points have
Horrible.
got you top of the league.
Horrible tight end issue.
I was looking at Stefan Diggs' 1 point on
Don't even-
the team.
don't even-
Unbelievable.
Should have traded him.
Fucking start.
Unbelievable. I played against him in both leagues this week.
Yeah, I had him in-
You've got Diggs. Oh no, you've got Diggs.
So
Oh, I might have him.
I've got him
in
in
the
one
other
league and you've got him in the other. And first 2 weeks, you can sit on the bench. Oh, a nice cheeky 29
You've got
points.
Diggs in our
Yeah,
league.
because.
And then put him in this week.
For,
That'll just be the one.
Yeah.
Just the
I
one.
offered Jarvis Landry for Diggs. No, we did.
he'll make
Shock
a
that. I'm
comeback.
sure we'll come on to that at a later date about trades.
Right. Let's get
Yeah,
Landry
standings
did well
done.
this week.
let's get the review going.
Excellent.
Do you want to start?
No.
You start. I'll start. I love the fact that my autocorrect has kicked in on this one.
Oh God.
So let's talk about the fact that your jersey, Mr. Drew Breed, has passed Brett Favre for the most complete passes in NFL history. And
What a man.
at the point that they posted it, it was 6,301, which broke the record because the record was 6,300 completed. Passing.
So the thing about that was, I'm sure I heard something on another podcast where they said that he was told about it and he was like, yeah, great, it's not a Super Bowl ring, so I don't really care. And so it was the fact that he was very humble about it. It was like,
It's a little more than humble.
I've passed the record, but I don't. It doesn't mean that much and stuff like that. But I'm sure there was, because he's gonna pass the all-time yardage record, I think, at some point this season if he carries on the way he's going.
Yeah.
Is it Manning that's got it about 75,000, something like that, when he finally finished?
Eli.
So, good
No.
God, no.
Gonna be.
Good God, no.
Dear God, man, no.
So yeah, good stuff from Breezy.
What have you got?
Right.
Here we go, the piece of paper. He's so old-fashioned.
So I had Calvin Ridley was number 1 on the.
Right, so I've got Calvin Ridley on my, and Calvin Ridley, also breaking records, week 3. He's at the point I wrote this, he was 3 touchdowns in as a rookie, and most caught passes or something, record breaking straight in week 3, done. And he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's breaking records left, right, and centre.
Well, he even missed week 1,
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he played much in week 2.
I think he's got something like 14 points in week 2 or something.
So, and that was without scoring a touchdown, wasn't it? I don't think he scored a touchdown in
Might have
week
got
2.
one.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, he looks
Was
pretty
he
good.
on anyone's watch list?
It was
You know fully well he was on your watch list.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
And then Tom swoops in and just...
I had a very good look at him and I just decided
Whoops.
against it for some reason.
Is this the guy that you were talking about at football the other week where you were like, I've got a couple of people on my watch list, but I'm waiting to make my move?
Probably not.
Oh, well, you can't be that disappointed.
He's come from Alabama though, hasn't he?
Oh, well, they know how to make a football play there.
Because Julio Jones came from Alabama, didn't he? So,
He's following in his footsteps, isn't he?
yeah.
Treading the same well-trodden path. There you go.
Well done, Mr. Quinn, anyway. Picking him up.
good.
Yeah, I'm worried about this. If he wins, I think I'm just going to have to give up. If he wins the league, there's no way he's going to let me leave that down. You're like, you do all this research and you care. And he'll be like, oh, fuck you, bitch. And we know he'll do that. We know he'll do it.
He told me today he'd done his own work on him.
Yeah, he's like... He
says he cares now.
Yeah, he likes to
This is
sort
the
of
way he's
pretend that
doing
he's not that bothered, but he is.
He's
You can
like,
tell he is.
oh, I care now. He even said he might come to the Super Bowl party. I was like,
Whoa.
We should look at arranging like a league get together for the Super Bowl.
I've said it every year.
That'd be good. I watched it in a bar last year. It was very, very good.
We did it here and it was epic. The food was amazing.
The food was first.
The party bags were nearly as good as the food.
I mean, the party bags just sounds incredible.
It's nothing but American sweets, balloons. I like the year that we have the face mask, the mask of the team, other team's quarterbacks
We
and
had
stuff.
Cam Newton and
Cam Newton and
Peyton
Manning face masks.
weren't they on a stick? You could turn it around the other way.
Dual-sided player masks.
We don't mess around. It cooked towers.
Insane.
At the point I wrote this, I wrote down JJ Watt coming back strong from injury.
First sack in 2 years, 3 years, possibly.
And it was beautiful as well. That man can get off the line. Literally, it's like gone.
I don't know if because of his injury problems, do you reckon they're going to stop using him as a sort of a utility tight end? Because occasionally, if they're getting down near the goal line and they've got nothing else, they do sometimes throw him in. Because he's a good blocker.
It's just, I don't know whether it's age or whether it's the. I heard a statistic the other day, something about every single football player that plays past a certain number of games has some sort of concussion going forward.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Of like varying different degrees. So every football player has had a level of concussion from X point. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's age. I don't know whether it's the sheer damage that they put on their bodies. Whether it's just the nature of the game. But the moment that injury comes in, everybody, the player, the team, the people in charge, everybody starts thinking, maybe just dial back on this or dial back on that, or
Tricky
but
one.
he was looking real good.
Just a shame his team as a whole can't sort their act out.
Yeah, we were saying when we were watching, like we had Red Zone on, and
They
they
lost the first three.
cannot get off. They cannot get off.
Is it
the
them?
mark.
Is it them and the Raiders that are the only 0-3 teams? I think maybe. Oh, Cardinals as well.
Cardinals, aren't they?
Yeah, the Cardinals have not looked good. Although, to be fair, for the first half on Sunday against. Oh my God, who were they playing? The Bears. They looked all right, and then the Bears just stepped it up and just smoked them. So
Deshaun Watson's not playing.
yeah,
very well, is he?
he's looking like he's struggling a bit.
I wonder if he's still injured.
Matthew?
Mr. Gruffalo had as number
Oh,
2. The
R.I.P. He's not dead.
the season
but
seems
his
to be
season
over
is.
for the Niners now, doesn't it?
I have him last on my list of things to talk about. We seem to be in sync, you and I. His fake injury.
Did you hear that,
I
Shem?
just don't get it. Oh God, why would you fake an ACL tear? It doesn't make any sense.
Just throwing it out there.
What
did I say to you?
You said that he couldn't.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
150 million. He's worth $150 million.
I think you point that he's just been paid, but bear in mind that his contract's not guaranteed. So a lot of that'll be in. A lot of that'll he'll have to miss out on now because he won't play. So a lot of his contract he'll miss. He'll only
He'll
get,
have the season.
obviously he'll only get his guaranteed.
So he won't get. But that's the thing, though. He's guaranteed X number of $1 million. So
Yeah.
kind of paid it, and they immediately started talking. Oh, who's the backup? Who's the backup? You know, when he went down, accidentally fell over, accidentally got paid a lot of money for some very poor NFL. Just throwing these things around. Yeah, you know, I thought it was a little suspicious. Great way to get paid for not doing your job.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
Richard Sherman's out as well now for a couple of weeks.
yeah, what's gone on there? Because I was listening to a podcast today. Now, admittedly, the podcast was quite old in actual fact, because Bill Burr was going, "Oh, the NFL season starts in a week." How old is this podcast? But he was talking about Richard Sherman being at the 49ers and all this and the other, and I was like, I haven't really... I mean, I've seen him on social media talking about it and stuff, but I haven't heard... Since he's gone from the Seahawks, I haven't heard his name mentioned. And then...
Yeah, he signed a big contract.
Did sign a big contract, to be fair.
He is out for about 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
It says here for at least a couple of weeks with a calf injury. But yeah, I'd forgotten about McKinnon.
Yeah.
They're absolutely they're getting shafted big time. They're just losing players each week. So they lost McKinnon like before the season started. They've now lost Sherman and Garoppolo. Sherman's only for a couple of weeks, but Garoppolo for the rest of the season. Yeah, shit. But I've just found someone here that says they've listed 3 quarterbacks that are going to come and work out with them this week. So they got Tom Savage, TG8, and then I panicked because I saw a C and a K, and I was like, no way, they've not buckled under and they're going to take him back, are they? And it was like, no, it's Kellen Clemens.
Okay.
So sadly not.
We can only live in hope.
But it's that point of like, eventually, if more quarterbacks go down, so say for example, if in Denver, Case Keenum gets an injury and they're not thinking that Paxton Lynch is worth sort of giving the start to, do they just go out and say, oh, just come in and play for a couple of weeks and see how we get on?
Not to Colin.
Yeah. Surely he's got to be worth like some team taking a risk on him. Surely.
But I mean, he got the yips, didn't he? After winning the Super Bowl, he hasn't played well since the win. He can't play. He got the yips, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
The yips, for anybody who doesn't know, is a condition where you play amazing for your career, and then one day you wake up and you can't do it anymore.
So
it's a phenomenon.
Happens a lot with golfers, doesn't it?
Yeah, can't hit the ball. Let's talk Patrick Mahomes.
Again, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
Again, he's not dead. He's very, very much not dead because he's just tossing an average of 4
touchdown passes,
4.33 touchdowns per week
in the first few games to 13 different people.
How ridiculous is that? I don't think I could name you 13 receivers for the Chiefs.
He's literally like, you today. And you. They're all touchdowns as well.
Which is mental.
He's like, touchdown over there. He's like Elvis, isn't he? Brand new Cadillac. It's like, touchdown for you. Touchdown for you. Touchdown for you.
But when you think about it, it's a bit insane because I'm sure Tyreek Hill's got 2. But then I was thinking, well, no, because one of them was either a punt or a kick return. So that'd make sense. But let's see what they got. They've got Tyreek Hill.
We've got Travis on there.
Travis Kelce. Sammy Watkins.
Yes, which I was surprised about because we were talking about that. I was saying to you, I want a Sammy Watkins jersey, and I was like, when we were watching Red Zone, and he popped up playing for the Chiefs. I was what?
There's obviously something wrong with him because he keeps getting traded or he keeps just getting cut.
But there's not much wrong with him.
So he's onto his either 3rd or 4th team since he's entered the league. That's not good.
It's not good. But
has one of our teams got him?
He is. I think Phil's got him.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Phil's got him.
I've got him in a jersey that's got his signature on. No. I'm just throwing that.
Is it a Bills one?
Rams?
Blue and white.
Oh, he's Rams.
Yeah.
I don't take it out of the bag.
If it's mainly blue with white trim, it'll probably be the Bills. If it's 14 as well.
Might be. We've already talked Calvin Ridley. Obviously, at this point, I can say, I mean, what the Chiefs?
They look legit.
They're looking
real.
There's
a few question marks over the defense. If they play against a really, really top team, then they could get found out on defense. But
we've talked Calvin Ridley. What have you got? Let's see if we've matched up on.
I've just got to speak about the Cardinals, like
terrible.
How they are.
Shit.
You want to talk about the Cardinals?
Like Larry Fitzgerald, it's going.
You want to talk about the Cardinals, or we could always talk about the Vikings.
I mean, that is insane.
Vikings WTF. So their last play was like, oh, well, I suppose we should put a touchdown on because otherwise we're getting shut.
Well, it's alright, because the sensible people saw that obviously they'd cut the kicker because he couldn't kick for shit, and saw that they picked up Dan Bailey, so it was like, well, that'll be some points for me this week. Oh, just gonna go. Spectacular. And as well, when they scored the touchdown, I was like, oh, well, this is nice. At least I'll get 1 point for the point after. Went for the 2-point conversion, missed it. So, well, fuck you, Minnesota.
Tell you something, I was well happy that I put old Marsh on it this week. Boy Lynch racking the points. I was like, points on the board.
Gruden offense, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, Vikings. Just what?
I don't think anyone
they were doing.
I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
No. Likewise, on the other end of the field, whoever thought you'd hear this saying? Dolphins 3-0.
Not only that, it's the
first
fact
time in 5 years.
It's the fact that they're too clear of the Pats in that division. Because that's a point that I found out today. So in all the seasons that Brady's been there, he's never started 1 and 2. He's never lost 2 of his first 3.
I have said every week, and people go, yeah, but every week I've said the same thing. Brady does not look comfortable. You know, like the back end of the season where the games matter, and Brady's and the Patriots are losing, and Brady starts doing that. Oh, I'll throw the ball over there. Oh no, I missed. Because he just panics. He looks a little bit like that
already.
Now, he doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look like the well-rounded Tom Brady that we all know and love.
Nobody loves him.
Nobody loves him.
Wow. Not even his
Joe Rogan was talking about him on big shout out to Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking about him, and obviously they have like stuff on the TV, and they were showing him as a dad bod, and they were talking about NFL players. Because I remember you sent me an Andrew Luck thing that he was looking like a bodybuilder at one point.
He looked shredded at one point.
Insane. But they were like, oh look, there's Tom Brady with his supermodel wife and his dad bod. And then they flashed someone else up. Eli.
I'm going to say there's so many quarterbacks in that league that will probably just be averagely sort of built. Like Rodgers. Rodgers don't look like he's like
they were saying, like,
a guy who's spending loads of time in the gym.
The man can throw a ball with laser pinpoint accuracy.
This can't be Eli Manning.
Doesn't look like... I know. Eli Manning, no. But yeah, doesn't look like he can throw a ball like that. What else you got?
On the arms, isn't it?
What else you got?
Just a shout out to Colin's team because I think they're quite good. Colin Wright. It's got some very good. We've got very good depth in this team.
It's very big of you.
Blunt force trauma. Don't think he's got blunt.
He's got LeGarrette Blunt.
It's like in my other
Why
league.
didn't you pick up Blunt and then go? Cole's gonna have to change his team.
Yeah, it's like in my other league that I'm in. There's a guy that's called his team Rolling with Mahomes. Doesn't have Pat Mahomes. So why he's called his team that, I've no idea. Bizarre.
Bless.
Absolutely.
I think my comment had been because mine was named after Ezekiel, and I didn't. You've got Ezekiel.
We don't talk about that.
What a guy. What a man. What hair. Jesus Christ, did you see that on Sunday? He just took his takes his helmet off, and it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely massive. It's like Kaepernick, he's got a big band.
Oh God, Kaepernick's throw is like his microphone head. And then he started growing the beard as well, and it was like just this mass of hair.
It's like a lion. It's like a mane.
Heart of a lion. Can't throw a football out. They
can pick up his mic in Washington, can't they, from San Francisco?
Yeah.
It's not big.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see him at a team anytime soon?
I doubt it.
I think
he's too.
Do you suppose he's just sat on a beach somewhere right now going?
Well, no, he's doing.
Adverts.
Well, yeah, he's doing all these adverts. He's getting like I think he's like a public speaker or something.
Yeah.
He's doing something like that.
He went a bit political, didn't he? He went off down some
massively.
weird...
That's why he's not like... It's almost like he's been blackballed by the rest of the owners in the league. So I think like Jerry Jones is like quite high on like teams not taking him.
This is
Jerry
Jones
of the Dallas Cowboys.
Of the Dallas Cowboys. I'd like to be Taco.
I'd like to buy DallasCowboys.com back off you.
You watched some games this week.
I did.
I watched some games.
Yeah.
We watched some games.
Watched Wednesday, yeah.
Together.
First week. Actually making use of Game Pass.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it was glorious. I saw some really... I love a trick play. Going all the way back to like the fake field goal kicks and all sorts of stuff. The Seahawks started all that shit, and I love stuff like that. And one of the best things, I can't even think who it was, but like one of the quarterbacks had like handed it off. The running back ran through the middle, everybody piled on, and the quarterback's just walking off down the side, and then was like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, throws it in for a touchdown." I'm like, that's what we need more of. Love stuff like that.
Some of the best ones are where like it goes to the receiver. Like the one I always remember is Julian Edelman, when like Brady got it, lateraled it across to him, and he was basically just down the sideline. He just threw an absolute perfect spiral just down. Can't remember who the receiver was, but yeah, he landed it in the end zone.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Oh, I've just remembered something that needs to be brought up. In the Colts-Eagles game, the Colts had a shot at getting it in the end zone right at the end to either tie it or possibly win it, and they took Andrew Luck out of the game
because he couldn't throw.
Brought on Jacoby Brissett because they don't know how big his arm is.
We don't think he can get it down the field, and then he threw, and they went, "It's thrown out too far." Looking at it again, it's thrown out too far.
So it's that thing of, is Andrew Luck the quarterback he was? Is he going to get the arm strength back? There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions to ask there.
At this point in time, they don't think they took him out because they thought he couldn't make it, and put somebody in who threw it too far.
I'm considering dropping him from my team.
Interesting. Flurry of people picking him up then, obviously.
Considering.
He's still worth having. He's definitely still worth... In a 12-team league, if you've got the chance to take Andrew Luck, you take Andrew Luck.
I never imagine a time where I'm going to sit there and go, Andrew Luck, yeah.
You need a few more weapons to throw to, but
yeah.
T.J. Hilton, good receiver. He's always going to get yards.
Yeah, he is.
Where's Dante Moncrief gone now?
He's on the Jags, I think.
Is he at Jags?
I might have to take back what I said last week about the Jags going to the Super Bowl. Didn't like.
They looked bad.
They didn't like the look of that game this week. Low scoring game.
But I don't know if it's just that the Titans seem to have their number. They seem to know how to play against them because that's three on the spin they've beaten them now. So it might just be they know how to game manage them, and they obviously know, right, let's stop the run, let's put the ball in Bortles' hands and just let him just fuck it up.
It is one of those things that I was like, oh yeah, Jags going to the Super Bowl. I mean, if they've got a better quarterback. Maybe if they had a slightly better quarterback,
there was that talk last season, wasn't there? About like there was all this talk of Eli getting traded to the Jags for a Super Bowl, and I was like, what? He's so bad.
Yeah.
That'd be like me being replaced by me in like a football game. No upgrade whatsoever.
Bill Burr's got this real boner for Eli Manning because he's a massive to the bone Patriots fan, but the team that consistently beaten
the kryptonite of the Patriots was the Giants.
And he always talks about the helmet catch.
Oh, that was amazing though. When you see it back.
Did you see
David Tyree? I think
the foot thing on Sunday.
Oh,
the ball didn't touch the ground because he had it again.
Was it Earl Thomas?
Yeah,
I think he watched it so far now. He sort of popped it back up into his hand.
Touched the floor.
Because they said that they were saying if it had touched the floor, it had probably gone down as an incomplete pass. But because he didn't let it bounce, it counted as an interception. So it was like that person. Like, what the fuck?
Just gonna go with this, shall I? See ya. Right, let's talk week 4. Can you believe week 4 already? I'm already missing the season. I'm like, season's nearly over. It's week 4 already.
I mean, that's a bit of an overreaction.
I just get so sad.
14 weeks left, man.
I just get so sad. I'm already like...
Does it go till after Christmas this year? I don't know, because normally it sort of like ends around Christmas, New Year, doesn't it? So I remember on New Year's Eve last year,
I was listening to this podcast this evening, and yeah, Bill Bell was like, the NFL doesn't care. They don't care it's Christmas. Okay, you got your shopping to do. They're putting games on a Saturday. They don't give a shit. It's Christmas. So what?
I'm sure the Steelers played on Christmas Day last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know how to find out the week standing thing.
The schedule.
Yeah.
So
schedule
what you need to do is go into the app and then go to scoreboard and then change the week to week 4.
No doubt of that. Scores.
Yeah.
Scoreboard. Here we go.
Scoreboard,
Yes. Here we go. Oh,
do you know
every fucking time I open this fucking scoreboard, I look at it because it shows my matchup first. So last week, if you've watched the podcast, which you obviously have, you'll notice that this time last week when I went, let's have a look at it, and I went, for fuck's sake, Matthew 2 teams Herlihy. This week, I'm up against Quinn Corp.
Oh dear.
So I'm versus Quinn Corp. That's a win for Thomas. Matthew Moore with Thielen Good versus my co-host Hide and Zeke, Mr. Paul Williams.
Hello.
Are you going to win this, Nick?
Probably not.
Oh!
Projected to win by 5, but that's because he's got 7 players playing.
Oh.
What's going on here?
Oh my
One,
God.
the only female member of the fantasy lineup, versus reigning champion, not reigning champion at all, top of the league,
Yeah.
Kaepernick's Nike, Matthew, 2 teams Herlihy. James Forrester Gray with Foosball is the Devil going up against the 3-0 Blunt Force Trauma, Colin Wright.
I smell a big loss getting posted on Cole this week.
Really?
Don't know, I just feel it.
I
feel
Come
it.
to an end.
An interesting lineup. This could be game of the week for me. Tim Lacey's Squirrel Killers, 0-3, going up against the newly won a game Crimea Phil Rivers, Mr. Philip Walls. And the Yorkshire Knights, Robert Rafton, taking on the out-of-towner, Mr. Benji Keep with the Oxford Heathens.
Would you like me to do a rundown of the actual games
Please
in the
do.
NFL? And then we'll get your guys' opinion on what we think. So the Thursday night football or Friday morning football as it is here. Tough sledding. I don't know. I need to check this because I need to check which stadium it's at. But because I don't know if they do it someone at someone. If that makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
Because it just says the 2 teams. It doesn't say
if you do
so at so and so.
I'll tell you what. Why don't I look for the stadiums?
So the first game of the week is Vikings Rams. Thoughts?
Rams.
If the Rams
The
are
Rams were looking really nice. They were playing well.
3-0, they've got arguably the best running back in the league. They've got a stellar set of receivers. They've got an absolute stacked defence. Got a decent quarterback.
Right.
Coach as well.
Rams Vikings is
I think it's at the Rams, but I could be wrong.
Los Angeles Memorial.
It's at the Rams. So you're taking the Rams.
I've only seen the Vikings from this weekend's play, which obviously wasn't good. So,
I mean, it's the sort of game where you'd imagine the Rams will just absolutely nail them, but the Vikings have got a good defence. They've got good receivers.
Always got a good defence.
They've got a good running back in Dalvin Cook. I mean, that could be a tight one. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm still taking the Rams,
They've got Diggsy and Thielen as well.
Yeah,
So
they've got 2 of the best receivers, and then they've got Kyle Rudolph, who's a threat. So
they're quite good at finishing games. At
Not according to mine.
especially if it's close.
next game, Bengals at Falcons.
That's not what I've got here. I've got Colts Texans.
Falcons.
Oh man, I just sort of I don't know why I don't know if they're in order. There's just all the 6 p.m. games
Fine.
or 1 p.m. games.
That is at the
Atlanta?
Merc.
Yeah, so it's doing it. Someone at someone.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Leanne, thoughts?
I'm going Falcons.
Interesting.
Falcons just.
Ooh, no love for the Bengals. I'm leaning that way. I mean, AJ Green might be out.
AJ Green.
If he's out, they're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
But I'll take the Falcons as well.
Yeah, it's Falcons.
So that's a clean sweep for the Falcons.
Mixon's out as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Next one. The Bucks coming off their first loss of the season versus the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
Soldier Field.
Thoughts?
Bears.
Any reason why?
It's at Soldier Field.
But there's Fitzmagic on the go. Fitzmagic.
I think I'll run out of tricks soon.
He's got his beard magic on. He's literally
His
throwing.
beard game is.
He's throwing his beard magic. He's throwing
Was,
his Conor McGregor magic at people.
Were he at the Jets last year?
No, I think he was at the Bucks last year, but he's been at the Jets.
Who was
He's
the
been all
quarterback
over
for
the
the
place.
Jets last year then?
Josh McCown,
Right.
who's still there now with Darnold.
Yeah.
He's just a backup. So we've got one for the Bears.
I'm going Buccaneers.
Ooh, Fitzmagic. Ooh.
I'm very torn because I want to say the Bears, but Fitzmagic might have another week in him.
Is that another one for the Bucks?
Yeah, I think Fitzmagic's got another week.
Two for the Bucks, one for the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm going to side with Big CK over this. I reckon the Bears are going to get this one done, just because I really like him, and I forgot his name. Brilliant.
Don't know that much then, do you?
Khalil Mack. He's
Yeah.
looking. He's
Yeah.
making that defense like they've added like 3 players to it. It's ridiculous. He's
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
Next one. Ooh, Lions at Cowboys.
Oh, so you now know where they're playing. Right.
Yeah,
All right, Lions at Cowboys.
that's a tough one.
That's a tough one because
They're both as bad, potentially as good as each other.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm going to have to say the Cowboys because otherwise Steve will be annoyed.
Then I'm going to say the Lions, just to throw caution to the wind.
I mean, obviously they've got the momentum, if you will, because they've just got their first win, beating the Patriots.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
That was a surprise, but it was Matt Patricia going up against his old mentor.
Yeah,
Billy Beal.
They kept hammering that one home on the commentary.
Not a big shock.
I'm not really informed enough to make a call. You say Cowboys were at home. Cowboys.
Yeah, this is the weird thing. Over the past couple of seasons, the Cowboys have played better away from home than they have at home. I think if you look at...
They had a record, didn't they?
I'd like to look at the record.
Away games.
The season they got... I don't know if it was the season they got to the playoffs. I think they finished 12-4. They'd won all 8 games away from home.
Yeah.
And they lost 4 at home. It was like, what the fuck? Next one. Another. These are all interesting games. Bills at Packers. Bills coming off a really good win in a division that or in a place you'd never imagine them to get a win.
There are very few games where the Packers, you know, Patriots versus the Packers is like, well, the Patriots are going to win. But then something like certain teams versus the Packers, it's always going to be the Packers. So I was going to go Packers on that one, even though they had a really bad game.
Rodgers is due a big game.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he has to come back from that.
He's due a 4, potentially 500-yard game.
Yeah, he's due
The Bills don't
due
look
the
that
40
good.
burger.
Were it last week that Packers drew?
No,
Tied game,
so
that week
the Packers
before.
got beat pretty comprehensively by ball sacks. Who were they playing? I can't remember. But they drew against the Vikings. That was week 2. That's going to annoy me. I'll have to go back and find it.
They should win that. Packers.
Lost against
It was a team that kept missing.
the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean,
Peterson just ran all over him, basically. He
I
got
just-
over
I just kept saying, I'm so glad I picked up Peterson.
Ooh. Now then,
No.
I believe divisional game. Texans at Colts.
A bit lackluster.
I'm going to say Texans because they need to.
They've got to get started sometime.
We can come back here.
Colts.
And against the Colts is probably a good call.
Yeah, but you would have said that against the Giants.
Yeah.
And they were at home, and the Giants beat them.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'd still take the Texans, personally.
Yeah.
At the Colts, though. I don't know. Texans for me.
I'm going to go Colts and Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. Marlon. Mac.
could probably do it.
So you're picking him for a
Absolutely not.
couple of 100 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns. He's even going to play on defense. He's going to be picking off with Deshaun Watson all over the place. Big game for Marlon Mack. I wonder if when he scores, I wonder if they play that.
Return of the
Yeah.
Mac.
I'd like to think they do. If they don't, I'm just going to play it.
You can do it. I was
I was
going
going to say I'll just play it every time he scores. Next game, Jets going to the Jags.
Jags.
Jets.
Oh, these two spicy little monkeys throwing the Jets in like it's going out of fashion. Yeah, I'm taking a big Jags win there. I don't think Sam Darnold looked good week 1. He's looked pretty bang average week 2, 3. So I fancy a couple of picks there for the Jags. A couple of picks
It's got a
sixes.
good connection with Quincy and... Yeah.
Well, maybe. Ooh, right. So this is definitely looking like game of the week. Dolphins at the New England Patriots.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Massive Pats win.
It's good one.
It'd be so awesome.
I reckon this could be a bit of a humbling for the Dolphins. I could see the Pats putting 40 points on them because Brady's not got started. Gronk's itching for touchdowns.
I don't know if Brady's going to get started.
Here we go.
He
Is this the time we need to assess the quarterback position?
He doesn't look comfortable. I have uttered the words. I don't know whether Brady will go into a new season at the Patriots.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know that's
Tom Brady traded to the Tennessee Titans or something like that.
No, but Niners need him.
Oh, there you
They
go.
could swap him for Jimmy.
Tom Brady trading the West Coast for the East Coast. No, wrong other way around. East Coast for the West Coast. Chilling out with Giselle on the San Francisco Strip or something like that. Excellent. Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, that's where we go next. The Eagles going into the Titans.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Titans look good against the Jags. I don't know what that noise was that I just made. It was amazing.
I thought you were deflating.
No, that was we just discussed the Patriots. Shots fired.
Apparently it's actually harder to catch the ball. That's the latest one that Patriots fans are using. I know, I listened to one of the podcasts.
Excellent.
Is Julian Edelman back yet?
Edelman was out for 4 games.
Oh, don't even talk to me about 4-game suspensions. Oh, can't wait. I picked him up in the draft.
Oh, right, okay.
Not Edelman.
Ingram.
My boy's
my
coming
God.
back. I can't wait.
Have you checked when his bye week?
Points
It's not like
on
game 5, is it?
Almost definitely.
He's playing
On the fucking board.
You better not hope he's not his bye week's not when he's playing you,
Why?
because you've got Alvin Kamara, so it's chaffed you as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, true.
So, you three took the Eagles there, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm definitely taking the Titans on that one. They just beat arguably the best defense. Got that shut down. Shut down Blake Bortles. You know, superstar MVP candidate Blake Bortles. No. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans on that one. I reckon
Eagles all the way home.
Mariota will be back. He'll have had another week under his belt. He didn't even start, and he came in as relief for what's his face? God, what the hell's his name? Oh, I can't.
Has he been injured, Mariota?
He did something to his hand. He said that he lost the feeling in his hand.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. They didn't want him to play because obviously, why would you? Your franchise quarterback, you don't risk him. Right, that is the end of the 6 o'clock games. So we move on to the 9 o'clock games. Seahawks at Cardinals. Dross Fest 2.0. Neither of these two look good.
No.
This could be the first losing Seahawks season in a long time. And unfortunately for me, because I've got him as my quarterback, Russell Wilson just looks like he's got nothing to throw to until Doug Baldwin comes back.
Yeah. They were talking about that last week, saying until Doug Baldwin returns, there's nothing there.
Oh.
That's the door.
We have guests.
That'll be the Jameses. I couldn't tell you
at the Cardinals, which might change things slightly.
Right, then Cardinals.
Yeah, they're 0-3 and they've looked bad. Although they have just, I think apparently they've just come out today or yesterday and said that they're going to start Rosen as the quarterback.
I'm going to say Cardinals, purely because they're at home and purely because the Seahawks, they have let that team slide.
Yeah, but
people have just walked off their team and they've gone, oh, see you then.
I had this conversation with a guy that I was watching the games with on Sunday, and he said that it's something that Pete Carroll does. He tries to sort of rotate the team. He tries to keep the team fresh by doing that, bringing in like young players, keeping it rolling.
Young players are great as long as those young players that come in are good.
Yeah. So the consensus there was Cardinals, I believe.
Have you got a win?
Yeah, they've got to win sometime.
Do you want them to wait?
Cardinals.
They can wait quietly with the door.
Hello, Nuffle people.
Oh look, he's on camera.
Oh, yeah, hello, it's me.
Oh, lovely. Oh, here he is, the Peaky Blinder himself.
Indeed.
So that last game was Seahawks at Cardinals.
Seahawks. They're going to win.
And even though, yeah, we've just discussed the fact he's got nothing to throw to other than Doug Baldwin when he comes back. Brandon Marshall's a decent receiver, to be fair. Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks.
Cardinals.
Of course you do. Right, next game. Ooh, Browns Raiders at Oakland. Ooh, I do like me some Baker. I'm definitely going to be purchasing a Baker Mayfield jersey.
I'm saying
I'm all in on the fabulous Baker.
This is one of the few times you'll hear me say the phrase, I think the Browns are going to win this one.
I love the Browns.
They've got
a really good defense.
They've got a great team.
They've got a really good defense. They're only adding to that whenever they're sort of like getting these horrendously early draft picks.
Yeah.
They've got a good receiver core. I mean, they've let Josh Gordon go
before the start of this season. I was like, I'm not saying that they'll ever be a Super Bowl contender, but I'm very interested to see what the Browns do this season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one.
So I'm actually going to say the Browns.
Yeah, even though I love the Browns, the Raiders are getting their first win of the season there.
It'll be Jarvis Landry, 2 touchdowns, 60 to 70 yards maybe.
Look at this guy throwing out stats left, right and centre. Jarvis Landry with a couple of rainbows from Baker Mayfield there, just into the end zone.
Baker Mayfield is phenomenal. That is such a good pickup.
Big fan.
Such a good
Big fan. The only reason I like him is because JR talks about it so much in his podcast, but now that I've seen him, I want to see him more.
Yeah.
Browns or Raiders?
No, Browns.
Oh, look at Ethan taking the Browns. Yeah, unfortunately it's the...
somebody was wearing a Raiders jacket before you go.
Yeah, but like, do you wear a Raiders jacket in the same way that Cole wears a Raiders jacket? It's like, who's this?
It was more because the jacket's really cool. And it just happens to have a little Raiders logo on it.
There you go. Next game. What could be the absolute annihilation of the week? The 49ers going to the Chargers.
Dropping with no Jimmy G.
CJ Beathard.
Sherman.
He's a right fucking quarterback. He's absolutely terrible.
It's Chargers.
That could be a 47-3 or something.
You could sleep through that game.
Yeah.
Well, no, because whoever's playing Phil next week, you're going to be screwed because Melvin Gordon's getting at least 2 touchdowns there. So, who's playing Phil? Was it Ben? No, he just played Ben.
Blunt force trauma, was it?
That's Cole. Ooh.
That'd be a good game.
Did I say that I picked Phil for that? A humbling for Cole and his team.
No, Crimea Phil Rivers is playing Benji.
Oh, he's Benji.
Oh no.
That was this week.
refreshed to the wrong week.
Rob.
It is the. Stop going into things. Doesn't want to tell me.
Quiet out there, boys.
It actually doesn't.
We can hear you.
Crimea Phil Rivers are the Squirrel Killers.
Oh, Tim! Tim, you're going to get absolutely smoked! So I think the consensus there was it's a fairly comfortable Chargers win. The worst thing is, if we'd have said this last week, I'm pretty sure me, you and James all said big Vikings win. And then we ended up with egg on our face. Flammable egg on our face.
Let's not go back and watch that.
Next game, Saints at Giants.
Saints.
I'm saying Saints.
4 picks for the Saints.
Yeah, after this week's performance.
Yeah, that defence is good, but it needs to start going.
Yeah, it does.
That is the end of the 9 o'clock games, and then we move to Sunday night football, and it's a big, it's a big grudge match. It's the Ravens going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Going up against me.
I was going to say they're going to come here. They're going to come here, and they're going to absolutely destroy you.
Okay. I go with the Steelers on that.
My favourite team.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Which one?
I have no idea. We really don't know. We just kind of eavesdropping.
Excellent. Oh, in fact, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but
It's right there.
the game that is on the calendar.
It's right there.
Ravens Steelers. So we had 1 for the Steelers.
Steelers.
2 for the Steelers.
2 for the Steelers.
Yeah, go Steelers.
Big sloppy Ben Roethlisberger getting a second win for the season for the Steelers.
Big Ben.
Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that action. 4 for the Steelers. Is Le'Veon Bell going to end up somewhere else? Apparently they've said they're now open to trade offers.
He's going, isn't he? The last thing you want is a player playing on your team that doesn't want to play.
True.
The
James
motivation
Conner looks good as well.
probably isn't there.
He looks like he's a decent replacement for him. He's obviously not Le'Veon Bell, but then again he is. Then final game of the week. We've got the 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs taking their talents to the Denver Broncos.
Even though I'm wearing a Broncos jersey, took the tags off it this evening, I am going Chiefs.
I am too.
Chiefs.
Clean sweep for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, yeah,
4-0.
at this point, I don't think you can ever back against Pat Mahomes. He's looked absolutely stellar until he throws his first pick, and then you might see him be a bit more conservative. But until he does that, why does he need to? He should just carry on doing as he's doing. And the teams that are on byes, the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins.
See? Bye week. Week 4 bye week.
Didn't know it started that early.
Didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I thought they normally kicked in around week 5, but yeah. There was last season, wasn't there, where it was the Bucks.
The weather.
Yeah. Who did they play? Can't remember now. It might have been the Raiders. And the week 1 game was washed out, so they basically had their bye in week 1 and then just played the rest of their games.
Yeah, played all the way through.
So
Quite unfortunate.
yeah.
So
I don't think
yeah.
either of them made the playoffs. Wonder why. So there you go.
That's
There you go.
why.
Week 3 roundup done.
Week 4
Week 4 preview done.
Done.
Anything else to say, Matthew?
No.
Aren't you back here like
Next week? No.
week after next? You're like back like...
Oh, it's me and you, the big grudge match in week 5.
Yeah, like not next week, but the week after, you're back.
Ooh.
I looked at the lineup today, I was like, he's back.
Ooh.
It'd be nice to...
That might be a phone-in job.
No, it won't be, because I've promised the watchers and the listeners blood. Because if you've beaten me,
It's gonna be called There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
wear the jersey. I fucking dare you.
I think I might be taking that vacay in that week.
Vacay. Oh, are you?
I think so.
Oh, I don't believe it. He actually is as well.
It's not much.
Are you away?
He's actually away.
I might be after the Big Apple, yeah.
Let's do it on the phone
Yeah.
then. Phone in. You'll have to be up at...
Oh, make sure you phone us from the top of the rock.
What time?
So it'll be 2 in the afternoon. We won't be
Yeah.
doing anything at 2 in the afternoon.
Nah.
That'd be right. Well,
Who
there
we
we
have
go.
next week?
Next week will be Matt Moore, if he
Matt Moore
has the
on the
time. And you are playing...
Thomas Quinn. Thomas Quinn will be in the house.
Tom Quinn, live in studio.
In studio.
/
Speaking of studio. Watch this space, people. Watch this space. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining.
No, that's
Thank you for
fine.
hosting.
Thank you.
We'll leave it there. If you YouTube viewers want to like and comment and share and do
Subscribe
all
and-
things,
subscribe and comment.
Yeah, subscribe and comment. You other people do other things. But yeah, thank you very much.
Over and out.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
That was longer.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Week 3 in the bag, points on the board. Are you winning in your league? I'm certainly not winning in mine. Yeah. So what you got for week 4? Who are you putting in for week 4? Got any buys this week? Let us know. Comment on our video on YouTube and send us some social media love. How about that? Jump over to the Cookiecast.com. You can get all our social media outlets. So yeah. Tune in next week for our next NFL podcast. But until then, I'll say bye-bye.